Да. Якщо Okay. Are we on? Getting the thumbs up? Okay. Welcome everyone to another Jagged Alliance free dev stream, and I'd like to welcome you to our new configuration. This is going to be more of a chat today, and as you know from the title, we're going to be talking about voice acting and voice lines all day with these two guys that are going to be introduced very shortly. So, a little bit of intro for those of you who are new here. We're talking about Jagged Alliance. I guess that's not too many people that are new, but still. And I lost my train of thought here, but let's
Let's introduce ourselves.
Yes. Go.
Okay, hi guys, you know me from last time. My name is Lubo. I various odd jobs in the project, including the creation of the voice responses system, including the design of the editor, which you can use to the modding tools, a small bit of writing, and I have with Mart here a lot of stories from the recording sessions where we were present for virtually all of them.
Yeah. Hi guys, I'm Martin. I'm a game designer, and I worked mainly in the content department. So yeah, I made a few quests, wrote several characters. I also did a lot of work on the camera movement, so I'm the one to harass if the camera is making you dizzy and stuff. Yeah. And also, yeah, I have a bit of background with music and acting, so that's why I ended up with the countless hours of voice recording.
All right, so, and I'm Pavel. You've seen me before, besides the brain fart from just a minute ago. I wanted to introduce the other member of today's talk. This is our mascot. This is Fine Dog, because as you will know from some of the stories that the guys are gonna share, sometimes, you know, this is fine. Also, just wanted to say that we're gonna continue the dev streams next week as well, and the patches are in the works, and you'll get more information on them shortly. But Lubo, we're getting some, not this Lubo, the other Lubo that's behind the camera, we're getting some info that we need to lower the volume a bit. All right. So, let's get into voice acting. So, as you know, Jagged Alliance is very important to have really cool characters and to flesh them out. Voice is very important.
I think characters, and especially the mercs, have been like one of the most important things in the Jagged Alliance series as a whole. So I think that was one of the key features that we absolutely had to nail 100% right. So yeah, we make extra effort to be on those recording sessions, because usually in these recording sessions you have a voice director, a sound engineer, and an actor, but we felt that it was crucial for our team to be present on every single one of them, because as we saw, if we haven't been there, things would be like disastrous.
Because actors don't have context, and there are a lot of weird lines in Jagged Alliance, and if you don't know what the hell the character is talking about, you're lost. And you can't direct that, you can't act that.
So let's take a step back. How did it all begin? Like, we knew that we had these characters to do. So for the people who haven't done games with a lot of voice acting, like, how does the process actually start and get to 220 something thousand lines? Words.
Yeah. The announcement that we did was wrong. Actually, we found out that we have around 2001. 1,000 words. Yeah.
It was lots of recording sessions and recording hours. I cannot count as good as my colleague here. He's good in maths. I'm not.
And this is like 310 hours for the original recording, and then with the recasts we had additional 15 hours. So I don't know, something around 328 hours.
Yeah. And this is without counting all the work that has been done before the sessions, because actually, it was one of the important and very fun parts was defining the characters before even casting actors to play them, because I think one of the key elements that we were trying to nail was reimagining of these characters. So you have really good, really colorful characters from the old games, and but we also wanted to make them this. I don't know. We are making a new game. We are not copying the old game. We are not exactly 100% copying the old characters, but trying to reimagine them, just like. As you would perfectly remember them from the old games. So some of these characters had to be a little bit reworked. And we had lots of discussions about which of these elements should we keep and which we should like adjust a bit, so it could be like you having this same old character, but done a little bit more
keeping
professional.
the essence. The essence of the characters.
But the characters actually have the bonus that they can still be the same characters like in 2001 when the game is set, but the voice actors can't be the same because time's passed.
Yeah.
So.
And I think I'm pretty confident about the good work we did there, because many of them like sound almost identical, and others sound a little bit different, but have this new approach. Yeah, have the feel, but polished a bit.
How hard was it?
But back to the original question, how did it all start? Well, it started a few years ago. Basically, I was supposed to work on a different project, but I was doing odd jobs for this one, and one of the things that I could take and leave basically if someone had to take over from me was the voice responses. And there were a few challenges because I knew that this is something that of magnitude that we haven't worked with before. And the first thing I wanted to do was have an editor that allowed other people to write. And the editor itself should communicate how much stuff you need for a certain character. What is the minimum number of lines that you have to have this fleshed out character? So later on,
this is an in-game editor, not a person.
And the people can actually use the editor now with the modding tools. And then the idea was to, and this is what happened. We then shifted the most of the writing work to our writers, Ian Curie, which you all know, and is the Jagged Alliance personification as much as that is possible, and Dan McLeod, and they took over from us. But in order to create the editor and to know that everything works and that the voice lines are played at the right moment and they feel right and they should be that writing them like in a certain way works, then we had to I had to write some voice lines so that I was sure that this system worked and I can leave it to someone else. And my initial idea was, I wrote some lines like I would...
like placeholder lines.
Well, placeholder, but not something that I would be embarrassed if it was left in the game. And I was with the idea that Ian and Dan would basically trash all my work and start over. But they didn't, and some of my lines are still in the game, actually. So, and I am, if you want, that's why there is a shift in certain characters, but I won't tell you which ones, because you will hunt me to my grave. That's how it started. And then we started this long and grueling process of... basically, whenever Ian and Dan had some time off of writing the main story and the main characters, I would sneak in a couple of tasks to write this character and that character. And in the end, the voice responses actually was one of the things that finished way earlier than the story. Yeah.
How hard was it to actually find the right character, find the right actors for each character?
This is like, I was going to go through the next phase. So next phase is casting. So we had for each character, we had from our pit stop the guys that did all the directing and the recording. We had like many auditions. Like imagine like 15 auditions for each character. Then we all sat down, listened to all of them, and had another discussion if this guy is the perfect match for our new idea for this character and how it could be matched with other characters as well. So this went through several phases of iteration. And I remember that we had not every time we were on the same page, even here within our team, even
like, I like
with
this
me and
guy.
Lubo. Yeah. There was,
Yeah.
but it was a really funny discussion. Not funny, but really useful discussion because that's how the characters turned out to be more fleshed out this way. For example, there was Raider, who is a really love or hate character. Some people like it, some people not. And it's especially because because of his nagging style of expressing
this
himself.
nasal voice.
So he's like this boss of yours who is always like, go ahead, team, let's do it. And that's what's making him a funny character. And some of the people here didn't like him so much, but at the same time, that's what's making him unique in a way. And I remember that Jason Yudov, who's the actor who did it.
We're going to do a lot of shout-outs today.
Yeah, shout out Jason. Made a really good job because he understood the character, and we also said, oh my God, he sounds like Ned Flanders. Like, oh yeah, did he go? And then, it was like...
Was he the one with the really colorful understanding of the character? He has a...
No. Many of them were like that. I mean, this is another shout out.
Okay.
I'm gonna give
The actors really understood the assignment. That was what made this process so magical. Was that the actors really understood the assignment and they were having a lot of fun reading these lines. And it was a very magical process. And there is a story there as well. When we reached out to Pit Stop, we were like, okay, we know this is going to be a big project. And they were like, okay, don't worry, we have handled this stuff like this before. And how many words do we have? We had said, we have around 100,000 words. They said, okay, no worries.
Sure.
And then a few months pass, and then, okay, we send them the updated files, and they're like, yeah, we can still do it, but you guys know that this is now 120k words. And we were like, yeah, we'll be finishing shortly. And then it turned we reached 150k words. And they were like, okay, you guys need to figure out how many words you're going to have in the game. And we were like, okay, guys, let's play it safe. First, and set 180k words. And then we reached 180k. Say, okay, we will need to increase the estimate again. Let's be really safe and say 210,000 words. And in the end, we recorded with 220k words. As expected.
And
as expected.
And this happened because of I think because of the way we do here things around here. I mean, usually in some other company, things are closed in a pretty early stage. So yeah, we close the content. Then we have like a bunch of time for voice recording. Like, go ahead, soldiers. Like, listen to all these 350 hours of voice recording. No problem. But in our case, because we were constantly adding new content and new content, and it's like a few months before release, we are adding new content and. Because it felt right, and we said, okay, we can do it, and that's why the word count was keep shifting, and then
literally last day of
Final, yeah.
When we were about to send, we were like, okay, can we also add this and add this and add this, and then during record, okay, we will just need to add these few lines at the end of the script if possible. Yeah.
And that's
shout out to the localization team as well, because that made them mad, because I was the one, working with them, and Gennaro over at THQ Nordic that was like, okay, we're finalizing the content, right? Yeah, sure. We're gonna add some strings, like this is a month later. We're gonna add some strings. How many strings? And then another round of localization.
And if we talk about one of the huge production problems, I think this was it. Because early sessions were something like 1-2 sessions per week. We can do that, no worries. And then it becomes more content, and we had like a strict deadline where we should finish all of the voice recording, and we and Pitstop and everybody was like tearing their hair down. And
like
we
2 and 2 does not make 4 anymore.
And we literally each day had something like we had to do 6 4-hour sessions, so it cannot be done. But so we had to split. We had to record till 4 a.m. So it was like a really
different
tough
time
period.
zones. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, and also and your favorite guy, Dado. Yeah, after we closed the voice recording, a little known fact, he added like 5-10 quests after with just using what he had, using my governing quests to the last week.
Jesus, no. This brings me back, but no. But the talent wasn't like in one place; it was all over the place. Right?
I mean, even the localization team, shout out to them from me as well, because they were awesome. I mean, we had like this table with when they ask us questions about the content and the context of what they're about to translate, and it. In the end, it's like at the moment 1,300 lines of questions. So
each line is one question that Lubo had to answer.
And
what does he mean when he says in string this number?
These are the easy ones. There were some really hard ones, like and the guys in the localization team, they were fans as well, and they gave it their all. I mean, they watched the early streams, and they were like, "Hey, we noticed in the streams that the characters have talents, and can you send us which character has which talent? Because if there are puns in the names, we want to preserve them in the other translations and things like that." And they were awesome, and they watched, and they were so much involved in the process. And this is one of the things, at least for me, that keeps you going when things are stressful, and you see that everyone is giving their all, and you push yourself further and even more.
So how about the pronunciation hell?
Oh man.
No,
don't start there. Don't go there.
Too late, I already did. Ajani? Ajani?
Well, you have to roll with the punches. This is the most important thing. You have to roll with the punches. First off, the first recordings we did were for a Gamescom showing of the game, and we decided that we'll voice 2 mercs and 2 NPCs, and the first ones that had were like recorded.
Didn't we have even the earlier one for the trailer? Or was that later on?
I think it was around the same time, and then we did the trailer. And in the trailer, Emma, which was voiced, let me check my cheat sheet.
It's alphabetized.
Yay. Thanks,
By the way,
by Michelle Asante. And she did something interesting, and she did, throughout the development, we called the Legion. And then she said, the Legion, and I was like, okay, this is now canon. We are calling it the Legion, and this is how it's going to be from now on. And so many things, but
it's just difficult to make so many characters which are not. I mean, you are making setting in a foreign country which is made
has
up.
German and French influence, and it's all mixed.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's a big, huge mashup of all these nationalities and all these colorful characters. So, like in the end, sometimes you get little inconsistencies, but they feel consistent somehow. I mean, it's a bit chaotic, but it fits the tone of the game.
By the way, what Lubo is looking up is the voice actor per character credit list that we posted like an hour ago in the Steam guide section, so that you can look them up and see which character did what.
Also, I saw another questions about familiar with the writing of the other games.
Answer,
Whenever I was writing, first of all, a lot of the writing was done by Ian Curie, and I think he's familiar with the writing of the Jagged games. But that was one of the things. And the other one that we used, and we used a lot, was that we had all the voices provided to us by THQ. We had the files from the other games. We had the text, we had the voice files, and we could listen to them. And
we've listened to the old voices like countless amount of times, and it was a part of the preparation for developing each character. So back in the topic with all the phases of the pipeline for directing a character. After all this pre-production becomes the real production, when we now know how the character should sound like. I mean, we have especially the voices from the old games, which like 85% of the time sounds like top-notch. So if we could just use them, great. But as I said, we need to reimagine them. So there was a certain amount of time in each session after we've chosen our pick for an actor that we spent time searching for this character. And so in this process, each of us were involved. So it was the actor who was trying out a few things. It was the voice director, and it was us, me and Lubo, who were providing the needed context, but also what's this character about, because the actor and the voice director don't know the characters at all. If we just leave it to them, he will say like, oh yeah, this sounds fine, like let's roll with this, and we say no, we haven't found it. This is not the character. So we use that really huge effort to nail and to let them record as long as we are happy with it. And so it was like nail the old character, like nail him at least at 85%, and then add a little something, a good new spice that the new actor brings, because we had like magnificent actors. I mean, later in the stream we would shout out amazing stuff about those people. But for example, I also, because I've been acting a bit, and I know what it is to be directed what it is to direct.
This is an official question in the chat. Who do you think is voiced by Marto in the game? Leave your guesses in the comments and chat.
And because I've been directed, and I also directed some people, it gave me a good connection to provide some guidance for the characters, even with my own acting. And so it turned out to be a great process, and both actors and voice directors were really responsive to that. And so
and also we had to use all the tricks in the back for this to sound the way it does. One way to test out the writing, and which we did, was we used the text-to-speech technology. So before we had the
voices.
So before we had the voices, we could listen to the
The writing and
the writing, and and this helped a lot because even then we could feel when a certain line was overused or it didn't feel right or it was too long, and okay, we have at least one right answer for now, but. This was one of the tricks we used to filter out. And also I want to really sincerely apologize from the bottom of my heart to the beta testers because I didn't have time to set up the cooldowns properly for the beta tests.
Oh yeah.
And they heard a lot of lines way too much, way too often, and probably hated me at some point. But sorry guys. Yeah. It was a very unique process. It was something very new to us, and we had to adapt on the fly. And
it became smoother and smoother as the time was progressing. I mean, the time was like shortening the gap, but we became more confident, and also voice directors became more confident. This was another huge problem for the early sessions. Because like 80% of the people haven't been recording a game at all. I mean, they've been used to recording like TV shows, sitcoms, movies, where the script is linear and they know just by looking at the script what to do. And here with our type of script, which is like so unlinear, and we had to do like a bunch of iterations, even with the documents that we were giving to them. So they had to adapt to a character. For example, we have these mercs that make these interjections during conversations with an NPC. So they're pretty, they're like one-liners, and they like pop out in some random places in.
So how do you brief the actor for that?
Yeah, and the actor is like reading like a bunch of lines that don't connect at all with each other. So when they get the hold on this thing, I
especially want, like, what happened with Fidel's interjections? Because he has some really colorful ones.
Fidel, shout out to
I shoot you,
Joseph Balderrama, who is a really great actor and who did a lot of good work on games like It Takes Two, and also in movies. Lubo told me that he appeared in Batman.
He was in the latest Batman.
And he's a great guy. He's Fidel, and he was like really as expressionist, not expressionist, but as
he had amazing ad-libs, like the most amazing ad-libs, and we were like. At the beginning, like the directors were like, "Okay, but the line is like this." And we were, no. We give him
full freedom because the director is there like
we will change the lines to what he's saying just
and he's like adding words and like some Spanish we cannot write this, we are not Spanish, but he's like okay, and it would sound
I liked Whack Job as the best job
and at the same time he voiced the Major, he voiced the Donny Soldiers. He, I think, voices also the Merc Survivors. So and you can tell that it's the same guy.
Yeah, we have many actors who did like 4 or 5 roles, even 2 Mercs. Another question for guys here to try to guess which 2 Mercs have been recorded by the same actor. It would be a good challenge because we have like 10 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Also, I want to point out a quick error on our mistake. Sorry, guys. I noticed that someone said that Ziggurat was not in this document. Unfortunately, in this document, Ziggurat is listed as Gunther because this is one of the earlier names for the character, and we missed it. But the Kieran Soward.
Sorry for the mispronunciation, but he did several characters. He
did Thor.
Yeah, he did Thor and also some minor characters as well. Heinrich.
I think
and also you can check that out. But while we were talking, the voice director was like, "Yay, man, Kieran, you're a really good voice actor. How, what's your experience? Like 30 years of experience?" And so I was like, no, I just started out. But during COVID, he said that he's making these recordings of books. I mean, people.
Yeah.
It's a trend that people listen to audiobooks now, and he had
I
to
do.
like
I do a lot.
make like a huge range of characters, and so his range became like enormous. So he said, "Okay, Kieran, can you record this character as well, please?" I said, "No problem," and use totally different voice for this new character. So
Yeah. Okay. We had again.
oh man, Sydney and
And
Steroid,
Steroid,
and that's a yes. That's a yes. And also, this guy recorded the third mark. So, which is the third mark who has been recorded by, let me
Bankroll.
shout out,
By the way-
Bankroll. Bankroll,
Amazing.
amazing character.
If you find someone else in the list who is like not present, it's probably by his own name. So just leave it in the comments in the guide, and we'll figure it out, because this is how they were cast, like in the beginning.
Ravenous Scope.
So
Ravenous
some-
Scope is correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And let me check. Was there a third character by that actor?
Raven,
Yeah, Raven. Yeah, I think that character also did it.
Alicia, Ambrose.
Yeah, but I think she also. Yeah, she did Dr. Cronenberg,
Yeah.
which is incorrectly listed here. But sorry, guys, we need to fix some things here.
And I don't know if here's the place, but because we've been talking about
This is the
actors,
table.
this is the table. This is
So-
the table.
Okay.
So yeah, we've been giving shout outs to so many actors, but I also should say that the voice directors did
Yeah,
a
they were
really
amazing.
really good job there, and like have been like a huge help. And I especially want to shout to one voice director who was using all these like super ninja methods that no one else had been using.
Like
and-
independently, those two just told me like, no, we need to tell them about.
So
Yeah.
Camille,
the
Camille
director.
Thoman, we were like completely
She blew our
blown
minds.
off by her methods, which were she insisted on making the actor. Using the camera on, because lots of the sessions were like making in Zoom calls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we had the privilege to see her directing and to see the actor performing and to see the spark in energy between them, and the way she was directing was totally different from the other voice directors, because she was using these mimics and gestures, and like she was making the actors like, okay, so now stand up. No, do the same line, but like do it like this, or look at my face. And she needs to explain, for example, something so abstract that cannot be described by words. So yeah, say this, but say it like this, or say it like this.
Yeah.
And the actor is seeing her face and immediately gets what he should do. So
it was one very memorable session was when we were recording Mouse. That's Amanda Phillipson was the actress, and she was like, "Okay, imagine you turn on your hoodie and you're in stealth, and now say your lines." It was amazing. Yeah,
and
amazing.
then 2 hours later, she was like keeping the hoodie because she needed to give this to the actor, so she should stay in character.
We had a lot of trouble.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is also an answer from an earlier question. Someone said like, who was the character who needed like the most workshopping? So in my case, this was Fox.
Yeah, Fox was really hard because we knew that Fox was an important character. We knew she had that zest and those specific lines that we wanted to keep, and it was a lot of work there.
She was re-recorded.
Yeah, she was one of the. It wasn't that the original actor was bad or something. She was great, but some of the lines didn't feel right, and we had this with other characters as well. For instance, Barry. We recorded Barry, And then like I received voice files early in the evening, and I added them in the game. And in the morning, I had 3 different people come to me and say, okay, Barry doesn't feel like I think he should feel. And yeah, and we had some discussions with THQ. By the way, I shout out THQ as well, because they really did give us a lot of space, and they wanted again to make things the best they can be, and that they can be right. And they heard us. They listened to Barry. They said, okay, we get what the people are saying, and that's why we really did a review of all the characters with them, and we recorded some characters just so that they feel right, they have this essence.
We were pretty much on the same page with them. I mean, they were like really, really adequate with their feedback, and
they listened to us, because when we raised an issue, they were like always there, and they were like, okay, let's.
Yeah, we trust you guys. We know that you're doing like the best you can do, and you know this thing you're doing. So go ahead.
And again, like with the localization, a lot of people that were not directly included in the development, but worked on the projects, did their utmost, did their best. Even the mastering, we went through so many versions of the mastering. Just so that it's right. It feels right. The levels are, we're crazy. I mean, from Radu writing quests up to the last possible second, and trying things, and can we add this line, and can we split this line, and everything, to the localization team that had all the questions, to Gennaro, who did the mastering, to even the QA guys were so involved as well. Everyone was, giving it their all, and I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart.
I just want to get back to answering this question about Fox and why she was a really, really difficult one to record. So I think voicing Fox was a really, really thin line to walk, because you could get this character so wrong in many ways. So it was really, really, really. We felt that we should be careful there. So what happened was that at first tries, Fox wasn't really feeling right, because you can perceive her as like a shallow or like one-dimensional and stuff like that. But it's not. It's not the character. It's not like that. And at first people were not getting it, and there was like a voice director who was feeling uncomfortable. But then after that, there was another voice director who said, okay, it's a tough character. Let's discuss what this character is about. And she did a really great job about in giving this deep context. So now we are not having shallow, flirty Fox. We are having this character who's know what she's capable of. Okay, so she has a way of doing things. I mean, she knows how to speak in certain situations to get what she needs in this situation. So she's aware of what she's saying, and that she's saying like some naughty stuff, but not because she's shallow and naughty, but because she knows that
she knows exactly
how to get things from men and from people as a whole to make them feel uncomfortable. And so then she even has a perk that is using in conversations to get some privilege in the conversations, though that's part of her character as well. And the voice director and the actor got this, and the second recording went really smooth, and I'm now really happy with
and this
how
is
Fox
one
sounds.
of the things actually, Ian, I remember when we were doing the casting way back when, I remember one note from Ian, especially when he heard what the actresses were doing. This was the note. She's not a bimbo. We don't want her to be a bimbo. She's clever. She's smart. She acts like she doesn't know what she's doing, but she does.
Like in earlier versions, I remember it was a little bit like playing the dev version. It was like a little bit cringy at some points. And
It's
then
a
one
subtle
day,
difference.
Yeah, one day I just loaded up the build, and I think that was when you introduced the new lines from the new actor. was like, oh, this actually fits. Like it was such a rapid switch. So yeah, the voice, not the execution.
Thanks Dev Joshi for providing us with the amazing Fox.
So how about Steroid? I know there was drama with him as well.
Yeah. Steroid was also another mark that we re-recorded because of some drama. The first one, I remember that some people find him shouty and too much Arnie. So we were now figuring out, okay.
How much should he be? We had
how much Arnie?
Yeah, and we had this discussion internally and with the THQ. How much should Steroid in this day and age sound like Arnie? And
so yeah, because some people say, okay, that's an old joke. I mean, come on. But at the same time, Steroid is
this is him
from the previous games. He's like nailing that joke, and we are set in 2001, so we are trying to play on the joke in a new way. So we even during recording sessions, we were like, okay, up the Arnie a bit, like down, no, down, a little bit less Arnie and more polish. No, give more Arnie, like get out. And so we were like playing with this, and even Roger from THQ came in the sessions because it was a touchy subject, and then we said, okay, perfect amount of Arnie, perfect amount of polish, perfect amount of whatever else is in.
I remember
in this
someone was very worried, like, "Hey, are Polish people going to be offended from this?" And we actually have a Polish external Q&A studio helping us out with Jagged, and they were like, "No, this is it. We love this guy. Just use him. Come on." So yeah.
Yeah, it
Mr.
was
Gontarski.
one of the funniest recording sessions because we were like laughing all the time. And when people and actor and voice director are laughing and having a good time, that means like the session is perfect and the lines deliver. So
and there was a lot of amazing sessions. I mean, it was magical. You know, you see the lines and you feel how they should be played, and then hearing them out loud is just magical. And there were sessions like with Ian Bouillon that voiced Larry. And
Larry.
It was magical. He understood the assignment in like 2 minutes, and then he was banging out perfect Larry lines. And then
you have sober Larry, you have like
and we had tons of Larry lines because you can. This was one of the things we did. We decided that we will have two voice sets when he's sober and when he's not sober, and then the red sessions. Oh my god, they were so amazing as well. I mean, and then and you're in this character and you're in this mind space, and then comes the line. This reminds me of the cockfights of my youth. Mind you, we didn't have any cocks, so we just beat each other up. And then the actor just recorded this line as, so we just used our own, and we were like dying, laughing.
And the director said, "Oh, that's what I thought. I mean, that's the joke feels better this way." And said, "Oh, but do we want to change it?" And I said, "I wrote this. Go on, change it." And it's perfect. I think this is like the this reward that we got from like being on all of these sessions, like totally worth it. All of these countless of nights that we didn't sleep to record them. I mean, it sounds like a lot of boring, tedious stuff, and then you're like roaring, and your ears are like hurting because you've been spending like 10 hours with the speakers on.
Your ears are.
But after one of these sessions and all of the stuff that happened, and you're like, oh yes.
What about the story about that session, late night session, and you were telling me about?
Oh man, yeah. That really funny story. So because at the end of the tight schedule, it was like, okay, we have now like 6 sessions today, and so we need to split them. Okay, you take these 3, I take these 3, but sometimes something bad happens. I mean, sometimes it's a technical issue. Sometimes it's, I don't know, something wrong with the character. So I'm on my free time. It's like midnight. So I go to a bar to like release the stress a bit. Yeah, stress relief bar. And Luke was writing me, oh, something's not good with the characters. Come on. And I was with my laptop and I said, okay, I'm going in.
Yeah.
But it's a bar. I cannot enter a voice recording session within a bar, so I'm going outside and it's raining, and I find this garbage bin under some like shelter, and I'm like a hobo, like doing with the speakers.
Hobo with a laptop on a voice recording session in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
that's how you record.
It was a grueling process, and this is where Insomnia helps a lot. It was. It reminded me of my student days where I had this quantum mechanics exam, and I took it by 1 month of energy drinks and studying, and this was something similar.
Isn't that like the standard way of learning about this?
Would we do it again? Of course we would do it again.
This guy was not doing it again, but we're passionate people.
This guy might quit, but we never quit. No, I mean, well, I never did graduate. I started working on games, and it was too much fun to continue.
Love It's first game, I guess?
And about that time, I understood what a game designer does, and I was, this is what I wanted to do with my life. And I started working, it was way back when I started working on mobile games, and this was on not iPhones or something like that. This was on old Sony Ericsson and Nokia phones. And this is how I got my start in games, and I've never looked back since. So many stories, guys. And the writing, I mean, in the beginning, I remember, the writing part, because I needed to have at least 6-7 characters with lines. And this is what happens late at night, and suddenly you feel empty saying, like, yay, I killed the guy, but also not yay. And from that moment on, I'm like, okay, this is how MD should be. And I start writing cranky. I think it was the middle of the night. And I start
now
cranky.
Imagine that line, but with a robo voice.
Yeah.
It's hilarious the first time, and then it's very disturbing the next times. Like,
yay, but also not yay.
Not yay. Annie, you got your gun.
Danny, you got your gun. That one is from Ian and Dan, but and there were some magical lines for MD, and he was also a guy that really understood the assignment. I mean, oh my God, James Alexander. That was a great session as well, and and how he gets more confident when he's talking about medical stuff, and how when he's talking about fighting, he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. It was magical. And that's how we figure out he should have something like an imposter syndrome and be nervous and things like that.
Someone's asking about the numerics and...
Oh, the numerics, Yes. Okay, I have a lot of stories about those.
Pick one.
Let's do Kalina. I saw someone in the chat earlier talking about Kalina, and
I actually didn't know the full story. Like, they told me right before the show.
Okay, first version of Kalina, I was like, okay, let's do something with Queen's Gambit. Queen's Gambit, the series was just out, and let's make her a chess player. Let's make her cranky, let's make her a chess player, and she's very cranky. And I wrote some lines, and it didn't feel right. She was a one-trick pony, and Swatch Shift, she's a tactician. She had these tactical lines, but she was still cranky. And it still didn't work out right. And then Ian was like, guys, I have an idea. Give me this character. I know what to do. And he cranked out this character that you see now. But I didn't know how she operated. I didn't know how she felt. And then we had a recording session. And we, with the actress, this is another shout-out, definite shout-out. This is Amanda Phillipson. Sorry, I said the mouse was Amanda Phillipson, but no, mouse was Rachel Stasiak. Sorry, guys. Kalina is Amanda Phillipson. and we tried for the first 15 minutes of the session, we tried to find a voice, and this voice, we had one of the lines we used for testing was in the Beast conversation, and if you haven't played the Beast quest with Kalina, please do. It's amazing, but and it's
superstitious Kalina with superstitious
and
Beast.
When she's talking to the Beast and the Beast asks if she has questions, she gets more eager and more eager, and then we hit upon this character, and okay, now I understand Kalina. Now this is what I felt. And the actress was great. She helped us a lot. Like we with fact checking, I think she had some Ukrainian heritage as well, and she helped us with some of the lines. I think we thought we wrote them. We thought that they would be Russian, but it was not the right way to say them in Ukrainian. And whenever she said, "I don't think this is right," and I'm like, "Okay, let's continue." And at the same time, I'm googling frantically how to say it in Ukrainian, and all the time she was right, all the time. And but the quest with the Beast, which quest? That's the quest in Ilay Murat. Go there. It's a fantastic quest, fantastic location. Yeah.
Grand Chance Batman.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing to see that the voice recording is not. Sometimes it's not the final stage of the character. I mean, sometimes it gives you more to explore, and you said, "Oh, see how it turned out. Let's write this a bit differently."
Yeah.
And then new localization, and then new lines.
Yeah. In one of the earliest sessions, by the way, we dragged Dado kicking and screaming to the session because we wanted him to experience the process as well. And he did learn a lot, and he was like, "Okay, guys, I'm now."
You now know my pain.
And he was like, this motivated him so much, and I think it was great for him too. I mean, seeing his lines, and I think we were recording one of the Walker characters. We were recording Roman. Mm-hmm. It was hilarious. Yeah.
Funny thing is with that at a certain amount of a certain stage of the development of the game, we were forbid to be on the sessions. Like, you have to work on the other stuff. You're not allowed to record or to be present on the sessions. And we were like, no man. And we're doing it in our free time. So don't tell me what I can do and what I can't do.
This is not an optimal use of your time, but now we're like, we felt it was necessary.
Got an obligation to those characters.
This feel
this is the amount of crazy we're talking about.
This feel when you see that the character is like done so right, and you say like, oh, thank God, it turns really great, and so you're then sense this kind of fulfillment and of that it was worth your time. I mean, you've been there for a reason, and it was a good reason, and this feeling is awesome.
And a lot of crazy went to this project. Do you remember the debacle about the Lys Rouge?
Yeah, man.
We really called it a ton of lines because we didn't. There was a grammatical mistake with the name of the brothel. It was ridiculous.
I was wondering what you meant by that.
We recorded a ton of because we thought it was La Lys Rouge, and it turned out it was Le Lys Rouge, and we recorded I think 60 lines because of that. We had to
Bulgarians making
I remember thinking like, is it that big of an issue? Maybe they are intentionally misspelling it or whatever. Maybe we can make it part of the story or something, but no.
And we had a good amount of help from actors and voice directors in some of these cases where we wrote it, but we are not native speakers of that language. And then, for example, the sound engineer, wait, I'm French. It's actually like this. And I said, thank you.
Her name was Emma, and she was awesome. Let me see if here's.
We should.
Yeah, I think that's her, Emmanuelle Lacan. I think that's her, and shout out to her as well. She was awesome.
and also the actor of Flay,
Alexander
Flay had
Debrand.
a bunch of characters. I
Yeah,
think.
he had multiple characters. He also voices Bastien. And
So
maybe
he had this
Ooh la la,
this
don't shoot.
knowledge of maternal language where. Okay, we wrote it correctly. Okay, we proof checked and spell checked and stuff like that. But he said like, but that's not how they say it.
Yeah, he would not say.
And so he did all these little correction, and voice director was like, "Are we all out?" And he says, "Yes, go there."
Same thing
He's
was with Diana Bermudez and Corazon Santiago. She changed a lot of the lines there as well because the actress was, I think she was Colombian, if I recall correctly. And she was okay. This works, but it's not how we would say it. We would say like that, and I was like, okay, do it like you feel it should be right.
Yeah. All of our enemies were used to say like merde, but this is how like a foreigner would write this. So it's like, no, putain.
It's an emotional response. Which gets me thinking at the moment where we figured out, hey, we need some grunts when people climb and drop and stuff like the ones that you very well know that we needed to tone down because they were mastered.
I think we fixed them in the gold versions, but
maybe that was the beta testers.
It was like we tortured the beta.
A six mercs group goes on the first ledge, and I was like,
Six is small. I used all of them. I have a safe where like huge army of mercs is like climbing. It's like an orgy there, man.
But you don't know how those grunts got there. This is a story that you don't know because when I received the voice pack, we usually had about 18 to 24 different grunts, and I had to listen through them all and pick out 5 or 6 that we will use. So and that's not only the grunts for climbing, that's also the pain noises, the death noises, and I was like,
so someone's walking by Lubo's workspace and just
and I'm like, this is the middle of the night, and I'm listening to all these pain voices and picking out.
We got there.
Yeah, we got there. It was.
How about Fauda? I know that.
Fauda.
Fauda, yeah. I know that her story arc. Before she was made. Was
like I said, when I got in the project, my first thing to do was divorce responses, but someone had already started some process there, and there were a few lines I think for her already. But there were like generic lines, and I added some more lines. And at one point, she was supposed to be very young. She was.
I remember we did the concepts
and she was like 18 or something, and I made her so annoying. I mean, so annoying. I don't think any of you
feel
have
the pride
seen
in his voice.
She was like questioning you all the time. You want to move there? I don't think that's a good idea. It should be over there. You want to shoot from here? No.
But not in the good way.
Yeah. And when
not in Raiders way.
And when you kill someone, it was like, I killed him, but if it was my way out, it would have been easier. And she was so annoying. And then it turned out that she was this old lady. And I think the whole thing stemmed from some kind of copying mistake in the documentation that she was 18. She was supposed to be out, and then suddenly this character didn't work because she was this grizzled warrior, and it didn't make sense for her to be this annoying in this, such a know-it-all because it didn't match. So, okay, major rewrite, no worries. And what I did the second time round was this grumpy old lady, and then I was not happy with it, and then I did a new total rewrite, and then she was this how they said, she had a lot of regrets, and she was like, I should have been a dancer, I shouldn't have led this life. Yeah, and then I didn't like that as well, and I did another total regret.
Heavy weapons
That's
user.
kind of
Should have been a
similar.
ballerina, you know?
Yeah, there was actually a line, I think some version of it still exists, that
Sorry.
I always wanted to be a dancer. And I think some version of this line still exists in the game to this day. But then I wrote her to something similar to what we have now. And then it was about time that I handed the reins over to Ian and Dan, but they beat me to it, and they found the editor first, and they started cranking out lines for her. And at one point, she, Vicky, and Tex had like 3 times the amount of required voice lines, and a lot more than everybody else.
Well, the guys from the initial trailer, as far as I know, only Tex made it, like as a actor, right?
No. Everyone from the digital trailer is still voicing their parts. We had Penelope Rollins with Buns.
Joseph Bodorama was
Joseph-
again
yeah,
Fidel,
yeah.
but they sound differently
Yeah,
because
yeah.
because they were
Fleshed
not
out more.
Yeah, they were not fleshed out. It was like okay, yeah, voicing
Yeah.
like that. I don't think we
Yeah, and
we were on these
it was
sessions. Yeah,
no,
no,
actually
you were.
I
Yeah?
were.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Buns was very different back then. She had this verbal tick when she added a no at the end of every sentence way back then. Yeah, she was like, "This is a good kill, no?" And yeah, but she sounded too Dutch, and she didn't sound right. And then yeah, Ian and Dan rewrote her, and she turned into what she is now.
Yeah.
Livewire was also fun. Livewire was also fun because Ian and Dan started her, and then we added some new voice lines that were not written, and I used her as a tester because I liked her so much. She was probably my favorite character.
I think that's also a love it or hate it character. I love Livewire.
Yeah, and I started cranking out those lines to test, and yeah, and I also did, because of that, I think I also did her. Yeah, so I think they had like one line about candy, and all the rest of the lines were about candy from me, because I like that line so much. At some point, she also had a lot of singing lines. Yeah. She quoted from musicals. Yeah,
Oh,
I think a few of those remain, but at some point she had a lot
I
of.
was just gonna say, I don't remember any of those.
The only singing I remember is of Elliot singing "Mama."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, so what are the guesses actually for Marto?
I think we had one.
Well, we had one correct.
Yeah, but not all the characters.
Not all the characters. I'm not Sigrid.
He is not Jagged. I care about
My character, but not. but no, I haven't.
Elliot,
No.
And huh?
No.
The Elliot, you idiot, is an amazing actor who was voiced by Derek Hagen, who also voiced Nails. Imagine, like Elliot and Nails, totally different characters. I mean,
Yeah, but here I'm going to blow everyone's mind. The guy who voices Shadow, do you know who he also voices? Luigi. Yeah, we did. He was like, we did the Shadow sessions, and yeah, there were. I'm not sure how many of us, and maybe we wrote those, but we had some hints in the voice editor about characters, and for some characters it was like, for more characters, this is a stealth line, it should be shushed, and there was in the brackets, except for steroids should shout out. Yeah.
It even turned out that his stealthy lines were like
Yeah, and I was
way higher than his normal lines.
yeah,
Like,
but that was intended because I thought it would be really funny with it.
it was really
Yeah,
funny.
because I saw the line like
I'm like a falling tree into the forest.
Yeah, well, I saw this. I said, no, he doesn't whisper that. He shouts that. Yeah, and the other character that had different stealth lines was Shadow, because he was like, okay, we don't want different stealth lines for him because his lines should be, he's always in stealth.
Lou, please explain the tree in the forest joke. It's a joke.
It's not one of my lines. It's
It's this like Schrödinger cats.
but it's
A
paradoxes.
tree falls
based
in
on
the forest and no one hears it.
Does it make a sound? That's the original. And
in Steroid's case, it does make a sound.
yeah, but and he did Shadow, and we were like, he was awesome, Chado. And then we were like, and I was really surprised that they gave him emoji, and I was like, why are they giving emoji?
And then you hear.
And then you hear the first time, it was, oh my god, yes, hey,
Skills.
yeah, it was amazing. Another character that went to so many iterations, Smiley. Like at the beginning, I had this very weird idea. I was like, there were some revolutionary poets in Bulgaria that were, inspired by the Spanish War, and they were leftists. And I was like, okay, because he's from Morocco, I'm going to write it this way. He's this revolution. He's a poet. And it was, it didn't click. I mean, and I received this feedback from Ian, and then like he's too much Shakespeare in the park, and I was like, okay, how should I rewrite him? How should I write? And then I was like, okay, he's all about the ladies. He's this teenager. He's self-obsessed. He's self-absorbed because he also didn't sound like a teenager. That was also part of the feedback. And I was like, okay, I know how this works. And then I cracked it out in a day, and they were like, yeah, this is better. This is good.
All about the ladies.
All about that. Yes. Yeah. And when it goes into, there's this line, but how will the chicas see me? Yeah, and the actor was actually very good. It's Federico Lojao. I think you were not.
No, I was not.
No, but oh yeah, he was awesome. He was awesome. Yeah. Those were some great sessions.
Actually, we had very late in production. We figured out that one of the characters didn't have any lines.
Yeah, that was. So I should first say that I should have recorded Omarin, but then I got downgraded.
Oh,
so
come on.
maybe I wasn't doing my job right. So they downgrade me into a chicken.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Schliemann, everybody.
Schliemann, and also Courage, the cowardly hyena.
Yeah.
And also all of the zombies.
All the infected. Yeah.
It was very fun.
Female zombies?
No, female is Fate.
Yeah.
No, Fate. Desi.
It was in the other
female.
room from this room. So this is the sound studio, and the other room, Marto, you can just hear him like.
The
but
Fortune
it's-
and Glory.
Caca.
Fortune and Glory. This was, I was on this session. This was Gogo Lomo David. Yeah, this was also from some of the fun sessions. I think he did some of the Villager voices, I think.
Mhm.
And yeah, all the Villager voices were amazing. And I remember, actually, I think part of the job is when you're in the sessions, you also get to torture the actors. And I mean torture. One of the guys, Ali Zain, he did the Legion voices, but he also had to do this all kind of soldiers down the place, when you're out of combat. And I was like, okay, now the soldier, because he's one of the Corazon guards, he has an American accent. And this guy, because he's one of the Siegfried soldiers, he has a German accent. And this guy, he has a West African accent because he's a Legion soldier.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
I think that was like a torture session, right?
Yeah. And also, and by the way, for the Legion guys, we want to do you to do all the Legion lines. We wanted to do it twice, but differently, with two different voices, because we don't want them to sound like the same guy. Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, it's torture. But also at the end, he had this character called Mo, and Mo was supposed to be he had to be an Arab, and he had an Arabian accent. And we did try with another actor, and he didn't have that accent. And we did him with a South African accent. And then I found out that Ali Zain actually had Arab origins, and I said, hey, how about you try this to do also this character? And he was like, oh my God, I love it. He was so happy because he doesn't get a lot of opportunity to do his original accent. He was like, Habibi. Yes.
And I remember he
unlocked.
You giving him as a present. Marto, I have a present for you.
Yeah.
Your guy is Arab again. And I was like, yes. Because
By the way, the South African version was not bad, but it was not the same character. It was a great.
Yeah, but it's not. It was not how it was written.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Do we
I
do
was
we
happy.
still have the yelling in the villages? Like
Which one?
the undescript, no specific lines, just like something's happening in the
I'm not
village.
sure. I'm
Not
not
sure.
sure. Maybe Lubo has
Lubo?
the answer.
The other Luo.
The other Luo, yeah. Do you do you know if we still have those lines that are like hey, hey, hey,
Like
hey, in the
mumbling,
villages mumbling? Yeah.
Mm.
He's not sure.
We are not sure, but we'll leave it.
I remember
you to find out.
those were also like natively recorded here. It was very fun. Like just yell something,
Yeah, yeah,
but,
yeah.
but it shouldn't be a word.
Do you
And then you're like, okay, that's gonna be easy, and then you figure out, how am I supposed to yell something that's not a word but something like a word?
Yeah. Do you remember the early session of the Legion Force?
No, I wasn't there.
No. These were not official sessions. These were.
Oh. No.
Rado and one of our QA guys did test samples of the enemy voices, and they were like, it was amazing, and they were like, "Pitié, monsieur, pitié," and this was like in-house joke for such a long time. Yeah. Oh my god. So many stories.
There are a lot of these stories.
A lot.
I see that we're already going past the 73-minute mark, so maybe we should give some time for specific questions. And yeah, if needed, we can make another one of these, I hope.
Okay. I'm game. But yeah, were any
It's
mercs
like no one can tell us what we can
good
do in our
or
free time.
unused? No. Everything we did, we used. I mean, so much. We used.
We overused.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Okay, let's use that again.
Yeah. Definitely not anymore. I mean, you guys, I don't think you realize how much work goes into a single merc.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like this whole. We had to figure out this whole pipeline, how to do even a single merc with the art, and then the portraits, and then the voice, and the lines, and yeah, no, there was no way. If something was not working, we would have rewritten it or redone it, but never scrap.
Yeah, the only thing that was probably scrapped was the one that was re-recorded. So
Yeah. Wasn't Flay French?
He's a native.
Yeah. But I always thought of him like not like getting out from somewhere.
Braconnier of the world.
Yeah.
What was the English? Braconnier?
Poacher?
Poacher,
Yeah,
yeah.
poacher.
Poacher of the world.
Yeah.
Well traveled.
Oh my god. Oh, yeah.
How feasible? Well, it depends. Like the guys said, it's a matter of all of the things that need to go in there. It's the face, it's the model of the actual, character. It's all of the lines. And the lines with all of the story that they mentioned.
Yeah, and that means also interjections in conversations, everything.
I think interjection is like one of the hardest part because like a merc like is reacting differently in lot of situations during the whole game. So it's
it's a lot of work,
yeah.
but in terms of is it feasible? Yes, it's a way to just expand the width of the game without making something like systematically new. It's like we did with all 40 characters, but
we can't say yet.
no,
Yeah, everything is possible. The universe is infinite.
yes. We're gonna talk about patch support in near future. In the near future. Let's leave it at that. I don't want to promise something that can move around, especially with people's schedules still being a factor. So yeah. What else?
I saw someone comment about the NPC interactions. That was one of the early design decisions that everything will be voiced. No shortcuts, no nothing. And that's why there was a lot of work and a lot. I think
this is the biggest project in terms of voiceover we've ever did, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we had, like we said in the beginning, we had 220,000 voice lines. I think Tropico 4 shipped with 200,000 words total, voiced and non-voiced. And the voiced part was like 60 to 80,000 to 80,000. Something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't here for Victor Run, so I don't know how much was on.
check.
Yeah, but definitely.
I doubt it, yeah, because it's still one
and,
character
okay,
for the whole storyline.
Some fun numbers for you guys. We had 52 actors. We had 143 characters. I think the actor count actually should be increased because this is without the recast. With the recast, it should be 3 actors more. And
as we've noted, we need to check the exact.
Yeah, for the hours, for the original recording, it was like 312 hours and a half, and for the recordings, additional 15 hours. We had about 18,000 voiced lines spaced out everywhere. So yeah, I see the question. I saw it earlier as well about the difficulty. We're investigating and thinking about it.
There's a lot of ideas going around. So far, we can't disclose anything that we're working on. But there's how is this?
I think it will be fair to say that when we can say something, we will.
Oh yeah. Again, we're still committed. We're still committed to have.
As you can see, it's very hard to shut us up. So.
Oh yeah. Hey, it makes my job easier. So. Talk away. Okay, any other questions? We will point to THQ again because they do have their own online store that's you can order different types of merch. They did have this thing that they deliver mainly in Europe, but we can push and see what happens.
This is how people treat developers. They want the shirt off their back.
Take it off. PG-13?
Yeah, this is Twitch, not OnlyFans.
But yeah,
Someday you can't start. Someone's complaining he can't start the game anymore. We're investigating a lot of stuff. We're fixing a lot of stuff.
yes, as mentioned in last week's stream, we have a lot of fixes already in the dev builds, but it does depend on the release schedule for the patches, which we're gonna talk, as I said, very soon. But I still can't give you an exact date. Probably it can be next week. Probably it can be the week after that, depending on people's schedules. So.
Yeah, and we're fixing things all the time. We fixed the crash caused by conversation with Emma. We are fixing things all the time and trying to make things better. But the problem is with a lot of changes, a lot of bugs can creep in. So it's a very fine balance about fixing things and not breaking things. And we're trying to stay on the right side of that.
Oh, yeah. How is the decision being made to bring or not bring back a merc from Jagged Alliance 2? Or 1, I guess, is part of the question, but...
Well, basically, there was a very simple process, from what I understand. I wasn't here for that process, but from what I understand, the process was very simple. You put a lot of designers in a dark room with knives. Yeah, basically it was...
So that's why we didn't have enough designers for this project.
No, the idea was that it was based a lot on feeling. How do you feel? What characters do you remember from that game? What characters imprinted themselves in your mind? And also we had to think about things like, okay, but we don't want too many doctors or... too many, snipers or too many. Yeah, we had to have a balance, but in the end, it's a bunch of designers in dark room with dice.
And we have a lot of designers.
And a lot of knives.
I think it turned out well. I think that there are not too many redundant characters. There
Yeah,
are like
I think...
a guy with the same type of characteristics but blonde instead of I don't know.
Yeah, and also one thing that I was really happy about when we announced the game, and people were like, "Oh, is this guy?" Yes, he is. And is that guy? Yes, he is.
Yeah.
And is that guy? No.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say.
Yeah, and well, yeah, but I think we got it right mostly. I mean, most of the marks that people expected to be in there are in there. As usual, it
Can't
will
do
be
everything,
fun.
but yeah.
Yeah.
You cannot have them all because
Because they're not Pokemon. You can't catch them all, but yeah. Yeah. So, and you're saying there are no doctors, but there are quite a few people that can act as doctor. Even Blood has high enough medical for you to. Yeah, I definitely know because Blood is one of my go-to characters. So, yeah. Okay. Any questions?
Right. Yeah, we can have 1 or 2 more minutes and then we can wrap it up because we're almost 1.5 hours in and I don't know where the time went. But I didn't want to stop anything. Yeah. Which is a good sign, I guess.
And I'm just getting started, so...
Yeah, Spine Duke, we know that some people are expecting Buzz.
And Lynx.
And Lynx, yes.
Yeah, because they are a pair. You can't have one without the other. I mean, it wouldn't feel right.
But that's why you give only one part. And then you give the other part, but slowly but surely.
As an in-game purchase, right?
No, we don't do that.
Yeah.
Like with Granchi and Bucks.
One thing, funny thing about
paper.
me, I at some point in my life worked as an economy designer in mobile games. I have no scruples.
That's why we don't give him those decisions.
Yeah, I have no scruples
he's
about
all the way with the other topics.
You know, having you guys, parting you guys with your money. So, yeah.
All right. Should we end on that high note? You're not making it easy on me today, are you?
Were you expecting it?
No, not really. Yeah, just one tiny diamond.
Actually,
right.
that was all Rado. Yeah, that was all Rado, the thing with the diamonds in, with the broker.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, for just one time, that was all him and the... I'm not sure. Not a lot of people, I think, have figured out the NFT Easter egg.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
I have not seen a lot of comments about the. We had a whole
fungible.
Yeah, how it should be pronounced because of our usage of it. Should it be fungible or fungible?
Yeah. That's a typical example of why we should be in the sessions because, like, there's like at least 50 of those in one session where.
You don't know what's going on.
If you're not there to provide context, then the whole joke.
I have the perfect way to add this. You have not lived until you have to sing to an actor the mighty song. Dig, dig. I had to sing this to an actor to explain.
Okay. Sing it.
No. Not again. I humiliated myself once. And it was recorded. I'm not doing this again.
So we asked them, like, do you have any bloopers from the recordings? And they were like, nope, it's all burnt. No. It doesn't exist. It's not there. All right, guys. So next week we're gonna have another, let's hope a roundtable, but another DevStream that we're gonna talk about another thing that I can't say right now because it's still in the works and I want to promise something that is gonna change. But we will have DevStream next week. You can leave us a comment if we are missing someone from the cast in the Steam guide section where we added the credits list.
We probably should fix a couple of the names there.
Yes, we're going to go through it. If you notice anything specific, feel free to notify us there in the comments. And We are trying to read a lot of the stuff, but as always, we can't promise that we can catch up, especially with the modding channels in Discord. That's just the guys that are included with the modding. The guys that are included in the modding do read those, but in terms of the people that are on the stream, we probably can't read everything. So,
yeah. And again, a lot of love to you guys, a lot of love
Yeah.
to all of the people that work on the project and gave their all. I didn't think we should give out, especially for this session, a lot of love to the voice directors. They were all of them were awesome and helped us a lot and made this possible. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
thank
guys.
you. All right. It was fun. It was a pleasure. And we'll talk to you again next week, guys.
Yeah.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.